Even on a completely miserable day where the market was crushed by a variety of international worries, let's not forget there are still some terrific American companies out there that don't need to worry about Greece or China or anything outside the Western Hemisphere. Companies like Kramer Fave, Panera, PNRA, the Baker Cafe chain with over 1,500 locations in North America. This is a beloved brand, one that's reinventing the casual dining business with its high-quality breads, soups, salads, and sandwiches. They give Panera an unrivaled level of customer loyalty, maybe rivaled by Chipotle, okay? That's it. Panera got poleaxed for reported most recent quarter because it was in line. That was back in February 7th. Stock fell 7%. People were expecting a much better number, and they only got a decent one. Still, Panera has a fabulous long-term record of outperformance. By the way, it's up 220% since I first got behind it when my daughters told me to, at $48 and change in July of 2008. And that's why I was thrilled to visit Panera's newly opened Manhattan store, first in New York City, and talk with Ron Shaich, co-founder and executive chairman of Panera Bread. Take a look. Ron, we're here at what may be regarded as the Panera last frontier.
Absolutely.
Well, places start here. You're in Manhattan. What's different between Manhattan and the suburban stores that so many of us are used to?
Well, Jim, it took us over 1,500 stores to get here, but I'm really pleased that we're able to finally reach Manhattan and bring the Panera experience to Manhattan. No different than what you get everywhere else.
But a lot of the spaces for restaurants are small, but Paneras are crowded. What's different? What have you created here?
Well, we made the commitment to do the full Panera experience here. So you're going to come in here, you're going to see 4,000 or 5,000 feet, 100, 150 chairs and tables, and you're going to have an environment to sit down, catch your breath a little bit, and really experience Panera.
And people deliver food to your table here.
Here we deliver food to your table. We do that in about 10% of our stores today, and increasingly we're doing that in more and more of our cafes.
Well, it may be aware that a lot of the analysts are saying they have 1,500 stores, they can go to 3,000. If you just got to Manhattan, that's probably not an unreasonable goal, is it?
Well, you know, I never really look at how many stores we can have. What I look at is what the growth potential is over the next 3 years. And the reality is we have more than enough growth for the next 3 years. We're feeling very excited. We just completed a year in which we're up 28%, and we see continued opportunity for Panera.
Now, one of the things that everyone is concerned about, oil this morning, we're up in the high 120s. Gasoline, obviously, going higher. There are Paneras all over the country you have to get in your car to drive to. Any sign at all this is impacting the price of the ticket that people buy? Will trade down at all, or is it just business as usual on comps?
Well, you know, it's been phenomenal. We were up 8.9% for the first month and a half of this year. Comps continue to be strong. I will tell you that in previous gas crises, it's tended to benefit Panera because people stay closer to home, and we are closer to people's homes.
Now, one of the things that I find fascinating is that there are only a couple restaurants that resonate as more than restaurants. It's kind of a secret sauce. In other words, a Panera, I'm also going to include Chipotle, all right? Sure. They have a cachet that we don't expect about a casual diner. If you were to say 2 or 3 reasons why Panera is different from everybody else, which is, we'll explain the comp store, what is it? What's different?
Well, I think it actually starts with the fact that people trust this place. I mean, you know, we were the first people to do all-natural, antibiotic-free chicken. We've had calories up on our menus for years now. We have any number of organic food items on the menu. I think that Panera has built its success by being of our communities and of our roots, and I think that frankly the food is good. I think ultimately people vote with their stomachs, and they come to Panera because this is really good.
Okay, now what's changed at Panera? We've got drive-through now. We have a lot of technology that makes things seem like a little bit faster. What's different Panera if I went to a Panera now versus 2 years ago?
Well, you know, Jim, people ask me all the time, what are we doing new and different? And what I try to tell them is we've been trying to do the same thing for 20 years. And which is deliver real food that gets people excited, to do it in environments that engage people, and have it served by people with self-respect. Now, within the context of that, we've continued to evolve. So you're seeing turkey like you get at Thanksgiving at Panera today. You're seeing salmon on the menu. You're seeing us roll out things like our Thai chicken salad.
My favorite.
Yeah, with you know, with lettuce like you're going to get at the finest hotels in the country.
But still 410 calories.
410 calories. And so I think it's not about new and different as much as it's about continuing to evolve and continuing to do better what we have been doing now for 20 years. People don't want anything more than really good food in environments that feel comfortable to them and that respect them.
Right, let's talk about the business strategy here.
Sure.
Recently you bought 16 restaurant franchises in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Now, I think when I ask people about that, the first thing they say is, why do you buy a franchise that you already basically have a lot of business with? Is that because franchises don't do as well as company-owned?
No, not at all. It's very simple for us. We have no debt and hundreds of millions of dollars in cash, and when we can deploy that cash properly, we will. Where do we look to deploy it? We deploy it when we can buy our franchisees at multiples that look attractive. We'll deploy that when we can buy similar flags, businesses like Panera, and buy that at an attractive multiple, or we'll deploy that by buying our own stock. So it's simply a financial transaction. And in this case, this was a wonderful franchisee, somebody we love very much, who basically gotten to a point where they'd been at this for 15 years. It was ready for them to move on, and we saw it as an attractive financial transaction. In your second of those three variables, you said buy someone. Manhattan, very crowded real estate. Yes. There is an outfit called Cozy. Now, I know you can't reveal any particular strategy, but if something like that were to come up for sale, would that be an opportunity to jumpstart Manhattan? Well, I'd say it to you this way. I'll tell you what we have done, not what we might hypothetically do. We bought something called Paradise Bakery in Phoenix, right? Which was at that time about 45 bakery cafes. We bought it because they were the strongest player in the Phoenix market, and we had great respect for the leadership and the culture of the company. You know, we are open to that, but obviously it's got to be the right deal for Panera, and we're never ever going to do anything that's silly. Okay, now you with 1,500, you can obviously do these national campaigns. You're doing your first cable campaign. Yes. And you are in it. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Okay, so go ahead. How do you become the pitch man for Panera?
Well, it helps to be the founder, but the reality is I'm not the pitch man. What I am is I've been given a chance to speak about why we created this, and I think, as you know, the very best restaurants have all been created by people who have a love of it and a passion for it, and we created Panera to try to create the environment we wanted to eat in, and to do so in a place with a bit of soul.
Now, love and passion and soul are the stuff of loyalty. You have a loyalty program now, Infinity program. You had 9.5 million just a month ago. Where is it now?
Well, we're pushing closer to 10 million, so we're feeling great. The real value of that loyalty program is, one, it prizes and delights guests, but as well, it's the information. We are pushing 40 to 45% of our transactions on those loyalty cards, and 45% of all transactions are on the card, and we are able to track individually what people do, and because we're able to track that, we're actually able to market to you in a way that's unique to you, Jim. So we know what you're doing, and we know how to get you the things that actually further your engagement and your affection for Panera.
Now, I live in the suburbs, right outside of New York.
Not far from where I grew up.
Not far from Exactly. We were within 7 or 8 miles of each other. There are a number of blockbusters that have gone under. It's just, to me, a fabulous space for what I would regard as a Panera. You got a nice wide store, usually in a pretty good neighborhood with big parking. Is that something you're negotiating to do?
Of course. We're looking at all kinds of real estate. You know, when the recession hit, that was the time for us to invest. And so we stepped on the accelerator. That's why the stock went up in the recession. We invested in the customer experience. Our comps went up. And we're going to continue to do that. We are financially disciplined, but we have a tremendous growth vehicle that we're able to work with. The escalator is continuing upward, and you'll continue to see Panera grow and continue to do a better job for its guests.
All right, now let's talk gross margins again. I want to be able to be specific for people who are saying, hey, the stock is kind of treading water here. There are a lot of people worried about raw costs going up. That is not a concern at Panera.
No, I would say not. Wheat is come down, as I think, we're bought out for the year.
Right.
So we're feeling good. I mean, listen, I think that this company has been in existence now as a public company since 1981. I think, it's been one of the best performing restaurant stocks of the last decade, one of the best consumer stocks. I think anybody who's invested in this company and judged it over a 3-year period has had a very satisfactory experience.
One last one.
Yes.
Starbucks at one point in this country, which is somewhat similar to Panera because it was your third place to do some work. They, by their own admission, grew too fast, couldn't support the staff, didn't have the right management. Is that something you're worried about, or are there still plenty of people looking to get a job at Panera?
Well, I think Howard would say they got ahead of themselves. They grew too quickly, and they were focused on growth as an end as opposed to running great cafes. I would argue that we at Panera have never lost that discipline. We continue to manage our growth. It's why we manage our growth. And if we get ahead of ourselves, then shame on us.
All right. Well, I wish that Starbucks had that. But you know what? They had to change management to be able to get it back. Yes. And you have had consistent, what I regard as being transition, because now you are executive chairman.
But I am fully invested in Panera.
All right.
I have a wonderful partner in Bill Morton, and we're at this, both of us, every day.
Okay. Well, this is Ron Shaich, founder and executive chairman of Panera. Thank you so much, Ron.
Thank you, Jim.
Good to see you in person at this brand new store.
Great.
Thank you very much.
When the going gets